of rejection. This I know is true. Peace and contentment, no need for resentment. This I found in you. This I found in you. I pull up to the club in slow motion, then I jump out. Instantly 100 camera phones pop out. I run straight to the back of the club in the corner. In the bartender sipping bottles of the bubbly. Once I started sipping up, these girls was looking pretty. Then I saw one that caught my eye. She wore a baby doll shirt across her chest, a red Disney tight skinny jeans. The girl's so fine. Some people say that this girl has a bad reputation. And some people say that this girl is a little too friendly. But she roll that booty like a hula hula. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty, think about. She roll that booty like a hula hula. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty, think about. After the club, you know that girl, I took her with me. Cause I had to see how she would put it on me. I wish you could have seen her, man, that girl was on a million. She did a lot of tricks like she was a magician. Put it on me from the bed to the floor to the kitchen. I don't care what my homies say, they don't know what they listen. Some people say that this girl has a bad reputation. And some people say that this girl is a little too friendly. But she roll that booty like a hula hula. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty, think about. She roll that booty like a hula hula. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. Like a what? I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty. Let me talk to him. Yeah, that girl got a thing that'll make a man feel like she blew his mind. She does her and she let me do I. This one so ahead of her time. She gets down just right, we'll be in the sheets. Still down when we ride, gotta hit the street. You should see her kitchen skills. That girl can handle me, and that's why I'm cool with ya. Make a nigga stay true to ya. You even be rolling my Dutchess, blowing nose like a hula hoop. Sweet tooth every day. She wanting my Snickers bar, well I'm wanting her Milky Way. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty, think about. She roll that booty like a hula hula. She make it go up, she make it go down. She roll that booty like a hula hula. I think I love her. I just wanna be out, shawty, think about. But I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Flow still sick, I ain't talking the pandemic.
Say you love it, what you gonna do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We have tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass down, gotta make it last now. Girl, I'm so, and I'ma beat it up. I hate to do this, but no, I have to. I have to talk to somebody.
I know I've read all the articles, seen all the photographs, pictures of you and me in the magazine. I did all the interviews, and not once did I mention you. Let the billboards walk right by you. I didn't want to make a scene because we agreed to keep it on the hush. Don't want everybody knowing about us. And I vow that forever I keep my word, baby. But I'm telling you now, the secret is driving me crazy. And I'm tired of creeping around with you. Girl, I wanna be with you. Tell me what the hell are we gonna do? I'm like, oh, 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 baby. We can't let the industry know, because our cover will be blown. If anybody is or so happens to see, girl, you've got your career and I've got family, and girl, that's why we can't let the industry know, because our cover will be blown. Don't want it to be known, gotta keep it on the low. Nobody, girl, we can't let the industry know.
What up, Dream Team? What's going on? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We going there today. We going there today. We going there today. Y'all see the title? I'm gonna do it real quick. If you want to donate to the channel, $, just hit my Cash App, $official Dana J. I ain't gonna spend too much time on that because I want to get to this. You've been seeing people try to make misconceptions throughout the internet. Shout out to everybody that's here. What's up? What's up? But you've been seeing people make misconceptions and make their own perceptions about things going on the internet. You see the title, The Corporation versus the Natural Man. So you've also seen people who don't know, ignorant people, that came out and said the natural man, the sovereign citizen, and whatever else they try to put with it, it's the same thing. It's not. It's nowhere near. The natural man deals with what the corporation try to force on people. The sovereign citizen, how can that be a legit thing? Because You're sovereign, which is private. You're a citizen, which is public. How can you be both at the same time? That's confusion. You can't be. And you seen the idiots run with, oh, Dana J child support. He don't pay child support. You've never heard me say I don't pay child support. You heard me say I don't pay through a corporation. I will not give a corporation satisfaction to hold me. So people like, oh, you don't pay child support. Da, 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 da. I'm not going to give the steps here because I don't need people who don't really take care of their offspring trying to duplicate things so that way they can get out of doing it. But I'm going to show you some facts. And I'm not going to be long today. I'm going to show you some facts. And people ask me to get back to this. So I'm going to get back to it. I'm still here. Okay. I'm going to get back to this. So detailed right there. That one. I don't know if y'all see this one. Okay. I'm going to show you something. Screen. Show you something real quick. Then I'm going to go here. Bam. There we go. Okay. So what you have to understand is everything you do is contract. Contract law. They even have their own law for it. And if you heard me on Angie channel about a week or two, we were talking about the guy, Brooks, the Brooks guy. And I don't know if y'all really paid attention, but I got extremely angry. I got agitated talking about it because what he did was a misconception and he steered the people wrong, hoping to stall the court or shut down the court. You can't stall the court or shut down the court lying. And as I said on Angie's channel, the judge could have really shut that whole case down right there and called the marshals and had the marshals come and get him and lock him up and take him to a whole nother jurisdiction. Simply because anybody that try to mix two entities together in legal standing, you are called a terrorist. So when you try to mix legal entities together, you are considered a terrorist. If you look up a sovereign citizen, they are on a terrorist list. So when Levi called those folks terrorists, that's because they trying to mix entities together. Are they doing crazy stuff? But then they trying to act like, no, we ain't do it. That's a terrorist. And if you want the Webster dictionary of it, terrorists mean anybody that trying to bring terrorism or terror or fear to any group of people or person or person. I gave you a ballpark explanation of it, not the exact Webster direct explanation of it. So, what people don't understand is your life is a contract. Look at HJR 192. That's House Joint Resolution 192. When the Rothschilds and the Petermans stole all the funds, the gold and everything from the banks and took it out of town, the government had a duty to the people. The people had no way of paying their bills, living, whatever. So the government said, if you do your remedy right, we take care of all debt. That's where you hear me saying you can't pay a debt with a debt. People talk about, oh, I got money. I used to go around about 4 years ago and just listen to conversations. And if anybody said they had money, I would bet them $400. And they would tell me, oh, I got $400 right here. This money. And I say, you want to bet it? Say, yeah. Show me anywhere on any of them Federal Reserve debt notes that it say money on them. I bet you do say money. No, it's not. It's a Federal Reserve debt note, aka a colorful promissory note. By the time they finish looking, and they be like, yo, I don't see money. Then I show them where it say promissory note. And it says this note is legal tender for debts seen and unseen. Something like that. Go something like that. This note, wait a minute. If you have money, why don't it say this money? It says this note. So what is a note? A promissory note. What is a promissory note? A banking instrument. Write it down. A banking instrument. I can show you a promissory note that supersedes any promissory note that you go to sign when you buy a car. Now, I know it sounds crazy, what I just said. How you going to say, I'm going to buy a car, but you're putting in a promissory note? Watch this. A lot of people don't know that your signature is your proof of purchase. Some people want to say, oh, Lord, he on this doctrine again. Cool. But I showed you today in Dubowski's motion from his public defender when she pointed out this is a straw man. Oh, you ain't supposed to talk those terms in court. But she did. So let's go here. I'm going to show you first things first. What's the first one? Let's see. First one is this right here. This is one of my bills that I had to pay. I was late. So pay attention to right here. It's a case information. It give you the case number. It give you the person that's taking me to court as of the plaintiff, and I will be the defendant, right? Okay. It's closed because I paid it off. This is before I even knew anything. So you see where it say party, right? See where it say party. Plaintiff Magistrate Court, Pines at Greenbrier Apartments, LLC, Province Real Estate, right? They are the plaintiff, right? That makes me the defendant, right? One thing you got to understand, when you dealing in proper court, when you got to deal with Fulton County, Magistrate, State, and Superior, you got to do things in proper now. Why my name ain't capitalized like you see other courts? Right there, Judah. This note is legal tender for all debt, public and private. Right. So if you notice, my name is not capitalized, all caps. So I can't use the assumption that they trying to think I'm a corporation. I got to deal with this direct because this is the proper person. And truth to be told, a lot of people don't know, but this is the proper way of signing your name. The proper way is last name first, middle initial. You can either use comma or semicolon or the dot with the comma underneath of it, then first name. If you're doing it this way, it's no escape because you're not a corporation. You are a person. No, I'm sorry. You are a man or a woman. You're not a person. So they were clear on their standings. So I had to go to court and I had to face it because they was clear on their standings, right? Watch this. The idiots was running around YouTube talking about Dana don't pay child support. Dana don't this. Dana don't that. Dana stole $15,000 and paid down his child support. Well, if I'm $19,000 in a debt to the corporation who I never contracted with, how in the hell can I steal $15,000 and pay that to child support and still owe $19,000? Make it make sense. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that too. But I'm glad you said that, Prima. I'm gonna talk about that too. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Let me email it to myself right now because I want to talk about that. I definitely want to talk about that because I heard somebody talking. I seen it somewhere. I don't know if it was in Prima chat. I think it was in Prima chat that I seen it. So I definitely want to talk about that. All right. There we go. Let me bring that down. Let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. There you go. Right there. Yep. We're going to talk about dual sovereignty as well. Let's go. So what happened was while they were talking, right? And they were saying that I owe this, that I owe that. These folks entered all of this paperwork, right? They entered all of this paperwork, and I didn't enter nothing, right? And this is, I think this is for Christian. Yep, this is for Christian. And I didn't enter nothing. I didn't enter nothing. Didn't enter nothing. And they just going. Proof of same open case in Maryland. I didn't enter none of this. Demand for, now here's where I entered one thing. I put in a demand for validation of oath and proof. Pennsylvania don't have jurisdiction. That was in 2018. So I killed subject matter jurisdiction here. Then I didn't do nothing else. I didn't do anything else. She gave me an order here. I put in objection to the order to the judge. I removed it to show the judge I wasn't playing from Superior Court to District Court. As y'all see, I removed it from Superior Court to District Court to let this lawyer know. And matter of fact, you're going to understand why while I'm using these terms, and to let this lawyer know that I'm not playing with the corporation. So 3 months later, the federal order and demand that this case is now in higher courts and all superior proceedings must cease. Here we go. So they couldn't do nothing, right? Because I transferred it to another court. 4 months after that, a month after that, an order of remand from United States District Court, Northern Georgia. Then order of remand for United States District Court, Northern Georgia again. So I put in a rule Nissi, right? When I put in a rule Nissi, they put in for motion for contempt. Then she tried to serve me with a notice to produce. I never answered. Then non-established service. Because now you're trying to serve me. But look who they serving. That is not me. I am not a corporation. So she's trying to serve a corporation. She went to court, back to court, the child support place, went back to court to Judge Manning, and they went back. They got a continuance order. And they still trying to serve me or serve this name right here, the corporation name, not me. They trying to serve the corporation name. This time they try to use the sheriff. Entry of service not served. Right? Here we go again. They try to use a process server. Entry of service. Okay. Judge Manning put in a contempt order again. Then they came back and tried to do an order up for continuance. Judge Manning put in another contempt order because they can't find me at this point because they looking for the wrong person. I'm sitting under their nose, but they looking for the wrong person. Hey, BB Beauty. So on February 12th, they did a court continuance order. I didn't show up. I never got it. Judge Manning did another contempt order. I know she tired. And then they got another continuance order. After that, because see, this is what the idiots ain't going to tell y'all. After that, Fulton County. Okay, there it is. After that, they voluntarily dismissed it because they was unable to perfect service on the defendant. Well, here's the thing. If you're trying to serve me, you got to serve me in my proper form. And the way you do this, well, I'm not going to tell that step, but you got to go to the post office, but you're not dealing with the post office. I'm going to put it like that. You have to go to the post office, but you're not dealing with the post office. So they voluntarily dismissed the case, right? And it went to the district court and they voluntarily dismissed it as well. The problem is when they voluntarily dismissed it, right? Let's go ahead. Hold on. No, right here. When they voluntarily dismissed it, right? When they did this shuts down the case. So they didn't reopen it. They came back 6 months. No, they came back 2 years and 6 months later with a summons. A summons that was out of date. Then they go with a rule Nisi. For the corporation went with one. Well, the problem is a corporation can't do business with a man or a woman. Not a person, but a man or a woman. Then child support put in a notice to produce. First of all, I don't know nobody by the name of child support. Right? Then she put in, then the corporation put in a motion for contempt. So if the idiots wanted to run with anything, they could have ran with this. But the dates and the paperwork didn't match. And when they went on YouTube trying to slander me, it pissed me off. So when you seen Bad Feet Pap Smear and her Goonies and the Unfit People and the Baby Killer and the Molester run with, oh, he don't take care of child support. That pissed me off. And when that pissed me off, I put in a demand to dismiss. On top of that, I put objections to court and agency and demands. But then I put in a demand proof of loan from agency and notice to court. At this point, I put the court on notice that they don't have no contract with me contracting with them. I don't have a signature or nothing. And the problem is people are scared to fight against corporations. If you're doing what you got to do for your offspring, you don't have to worry about what these corporations say or do. So when I put this on there, I made the child support agency run off the bench and they vacated this whole case. Now, this whole case have nothing but sureties in it, which means I can now cash this in for cash. All of these bonds, these ain't nothing but bonds. Every time they pull up something, it's nothing but a bond. So all these bonds are now mine. Dana, can you show proof that you ran them off? Sure I can. When I put that paperwork in and I put the court on notice, who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant? The plaintiff and the defendant falls on the party. Who's the plaintiff and who's the defendant? There is no plaintiff. Where there's no plaintiff, how can there be a lawsuit? That's all child support is a civil lawsuit. Where there's no plaintiff, where's a lawsuit? I have a right to face my accusers, right? So where is the plaintiff? There is none. Gone. So when you know what you know, and you don't got to worry about people that's saying crazy stuff. You don't got to worry about that. Even with Journey. Let's go ahead. I guarantee you Journey say the same thing because I inducted the same paperwork. And the child support agency said, oh, we ain't dealing with that. We out. We gone. Let's see. Let's see what hers say. Here we go. Let's see what hers say. Okay. Same thing. How can you have a lawsuit when there's no plaintiff or defendant? Where there's no plaintiff or defendant, how can you have a lawsuit? Where is the plaintiff? Where's the defendant? Okay. What type of food do you like, Chrissy? If you like soul food, Hattie Marie's. If you like Jamaican food, over the Irie. If you like buffet, American City Buffet. If you like the upper echelon part, Benihana's. Dana, why when an artist file for bankruptcy, they also turn around and file a lawsuit? Because just because an artist filed bankruptcy, the artist, he or she is filing bankruptcy on the name, on the corporation. You have to file a lawsuit in order to get the sureties from that name. But if you don't own that name, the sureties go to the owner of the name. Like right now, I don't know who this person is, but I'm the trustee for this person. So the question is, who am I? If I'm the trustee for this person, then who am I? And this is what a lot of females don't realize, but you see the party. There's nothing there. A lot of females got to realize this. When you take your baby daddy or the father of your child down for child support, you're doing two things. One, you're acknowledging that you need help outside of your family, outside of the household that you created. You're acknowledging that you need help. Second thing you're doing is you're signing over all of your rights to yourself and to your offspring. The third thing you're doing is you're acknowledging anything that comes with the government rules, you are accepting what they have to offer. Child support is nothing but contract law. You got to have a meeting of the minds for a contract to be valid. Don't take my word for it. Check this out. Here we go. A contract is void without consideration. Case study examples. A valuable in the sense of law may consist either in some right, interest, profit, or benefit. With child support, you got interest, you got right, you got profit, and you got benefit. So, and then it says occurring to one party. Would have the government made you believe that, yo, if you miss a payment, you got arrears? You know what I'm saying? If you miss a payment and you got arrears, how is that even possible? And I'm going to break it down to you like this. If me and you are dating, or you and somebody is dating, I access your social security number and I get $42,000 worth of credit cards in your name. And I max them all out. I leave you alone and the bill come back to you. Aren't you going to report that as fraud? Especially if you never told me to open it up in your name? That's fraud, right? So check this out. When women and men, because we ain't just going to put it on women, when women and men access the other party's social security number and go down to child support behind their back, and they open up a contract, isn't it fraud for the other person that got to pay for a contract that the other person opened? Make it make sense. If you didn't open a contract, you ain't liable for it. So it says, or benefit occurring to one party or some forbearance, detriment, loss, or responsibility given, suffered or undertaken by the other. Noted, John B., 1976, Osborne's Concise Law Dictionary, 6th edition, Sweet and Maxwell, London. When both parties had an agreement, each of the parties has to furnish by consideration, by give others something or do a favor as exchange. What is child support? I brought you and your kid mom together. I brought you and your kid dad together, right? So in order for this to happen, sir or ma'am, you have to pay us. We make a capital off of y'all and we give your offspring the little. You see how I go? So you're satisfied, sir, because you don't want to deal with her. You're satisfied, ma'am, because you don't want to deal with him. But you got to come to the middleman where I collect everything. Sir, I got you on paper stating that you will do whatever I want you to do through a contract. But what I'm not telling you is that if you don't do something, I can violate you any way I want to. Ma'am, I got you on contract by you opening, or sir, by you opening this contract, I now have capital over your offspring. So what I will do is, sir, I will name you the obligor or the obligee. Ma'am, I will name you the obligor or the obligee. What's the meaning of an obligor and obligee? An obligor and an obligee, when you break it down, y'all are obligated to follow the contract that I just bound you in. And if you don't, sir, I can put you in jail. But I can tell you and lie to you and say you're going to jail for child support. I guarantee you, and I'll put my life on it, there's not one man that's locked up for child support. There's not one woman who was found in contempt that's locked up for child support. And I know people are going to say, well, yes, that's what they say in court. Of course they have to say that in court. They have to put that in paper. On paper, I mean. But let me ask you this question. Is there really a such thing of court when it relates to child support? That part, by same as custodial and non-custodial. If you really want to destroy them, when you go to their kangaroo court and they ask you, well, do you know a child by the name of, let's say, Timbuktu? I dare you say, well, you know what? That's my only begotten son. I guarantee you everybody's eyes going to get big and going to look at you like you got 12 heads on your shoulder. Because now you done took them to another jurisdiction that they don't know nothing about. And they're going to say, well, that's the same thing as you saying that that's your son, right? Yeah, it's the same thing, but it means something different in court. My only begotten son takes your son from corporation to sovereignty. That means they can't touch him no more. He's untouchable. He's not penetratable. Check it. They also say a contract is void without consideration. In other words, the court will never enforce a gracious agreement. What do that mean? And you see it all the time. The court can never enforce a one-sided agreement. So when they say, well, I'm going to do it anyway, if you don't object to it, they got you. You don't even have to give an objection. You can say object. And the lawyer that's in a black robe is going to say, why are you objecting? And you can say, because I don't understand what you just said. And there's no grace period on how many times you can object. You can object as much as you want. They so worried about putting your people on child support, but they haven't paid reparations. You're not going to get reparations. I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't know who you are. Somebody asked me today, are you black? And I laughed at them. I ain't dead at all. I'm talking to you. Are you an African American? Don't you ever play with me like that. I'm Indian. There you go, DJ D Money. He said, I think God even said his only begotten son, referring to Jesus Christ. There you go. If the laws of the land is written off the Bible, how can a corporation take the law of the land and pick and choose what part of the Bible they want to run with? The only way you can run with that is if you're a corporate person. And a lot of people be running around saying, oh yeah, I'm a person. Are you? Are you a person? So it's so much that I can break down with this, and I can be all day. I mean, I have it for you. Look, everything you need is right here. Case law after case law after case law. And then it's introduction to contract law. Contract law is nothing but a meeting of the minds. It's nothing but a meeting of the minds. And if you can't, that's why when you go to child support, when you go to a rent court, when you go to a car, what is it, accident court, but they say, can y'all mediate? And the minute you say, I don't want to mediate nothing, the judge gonna get mad. Because now the judge can't hold that over you and say, well, y'all had a meeting of the minds. No, hell no. When me and Sylvia went, I told them I'm not meeting with nobody. I'm not nothing. And they clearly put on the paper, there was no meeting of the minds here. A judge is needed. So just giving y'all that point, you know what I'm saying? And then I can give y'all, I'm trying to think without giving y'all too much. I can give you standing. Hold on. Because I don't want to give you too much at one time and then y'all go home and y'all head explode. I don't want to do that. I can give you standing. And I have standing for you. Check this out. If the court is so much about pretext and everything, right? Why is there a court book about liabilities and stockholders? Why do you need to know about stockholders if you ain't cattle or collateral? Look what they talk about, unpaid subscriptions. I ain't gonna go too deep into that because then I gotta pull up my GLE for you. And I plan on doing that tomorrow and showing you how many people are trading on you and showing you how the United States of America, the corporation, got to be a superpower. And the reason is because of knowledge, and they took from us the way of living and turned it around and made us independent slaves. So just know that you're going to see this again tomorrow. That's why I ain't going to go deep into it today. Right? So Prima asked me about this. Let's get into it. Dual sovereignty doctrine. The dual sovereignty doctrine. And it starts with what? The Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Stop. How do you even get on a presentment or an indictment of a grand jury? You have to acknowledge that corporate name. Once you acknowledge that corporate name, then they got you in their jurisdiction. Subject matter jurisdiction has been proven at that point. I told y'all, Don Russell going to jail because he did it backwards. He did not reclaim his birthright. A lot of people told me I didn't know what I'm talking about. What did you see today? One thing I know. One thing I know is that at the end of the day, when you play in these people's playground, they going to dot their I's and cross their T's. They're even going to lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want. Now, if Don would have did everything the proper way, he wouldn't have went to jail. I'm just going to put it out there. Right now, and this is going to shock a lot of you, R. Kelly is sitting in jail behind a civil suit. And I know people going to say, nuh-uh, that's not civil. That's not civil. He broke laws. Okay, explain this. Who laws did R. Kelly break? He broke the United States of America. Who got injured in the United States of America? When the last time have anybody talked to the United States of America? Have you ever seen the United States of America? I'm just asking the question. Have anybody sat and talked to the United States of America? If you have sat and talked to the United States of America, please put in the chat, I have. Have anybody talked to the United States of America? In order to bring a lawsuit, you have to have an injured party. Judah J, you seen and talked to the United States of America? When? What does she look like? Because, I'm going to ask, because I want to know. I want to go talk to the United States of America. What do she or he look like? How tall is she or he? Lachi, okay, cool. You're right. Oh, I thought you talking about, but you talk to the United States, boy. I don't know, Judah. I'm about to get you. But nah, Judah, you good. I got my boy in here. Joseph Lewis, I got my boy in here. Artificial character. So how can you say I did something to an artificial character and I'm a natural man? A sovereign citizen is an artificial character. Uh-oh, that's how they can deem him a terrorist. So, dual sovereignty doctrine simply says presentment or indictment of a grand jury except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia. Stop. Except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia. So I got a question. Where did R. Kelly get locked up at? And I keep saying it, and I hope somebody catch what I'm saying. Where did R. Kelly get locked up at? Did R. Kelly get locked up in the space? Did R. Kelly get locked up in the air? I believe R. Kelly got locked up in the land, right? Well, if R. Kelly got locked up in the land, where did Robert Sylvester Kelly get locked up at? Uh-oh. If R. Kelly got locked up on the land, Robert Sylvester Kelly got locked up at Trump Tower, right? He got locked up on land. So therefore, how was they able to give him an indictment of a grand jury? I'm going to tell you how. The courts have a cliche about this. Ignorance is not acceptable. So because Robert didn't know his standing, he fell victim. And when he fell victim to the government, they now have subject matter jurisdiction. Why? Because they have control of Robert Sylvester Kelly. But pay attention. The female said repeatedly they don't know Robert Sylvester Kelly. They know R. Kelly, or they know Rob. So if you only know R. Kelly or Rob, and if R. Kelly is an entity that was created by Sony, Rob is an entity of a persona of Robert S. Kelly, why the hell is Robert S. Kelly locked up? I'm just saying. Robert Sylvester Kelly is a natural man. Facts. And how do you kill off the entity? You got to lock up the natural man, hoping the natural man don't know they're standing. No, R. Kelly is not the straw man. Robert Sylvester Kelly, all caps, is the straw man. R. Kelly is the entity created by Sony. There you go, Judah. Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against the hidden ones. Facts. So now you understand why they want to separate state and church? Because when you separate state and church, you have confusion. Because you have state, and when they say state, they ain't talking about the state you live in. They talking about the land occupied. So when you separate state and church, you have confusion. Because now you don't have one to back up the other. But when you bring state and church together, everything walks in harmony. Now watch this. That's how they get rich off of you. And when you thinking they're rich because of debt notes, no. They rich from knowledge. And they taking what you should know. And they using it for their offspring and their offspring while you sitting back stuck. So then it says, when in actual service in time of war or danger or public danger. When in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. What did we just see with Robert Sylvester Kelly? He was put in jeopardy twice. Well, in his case, 4 times. Minnesota, Chicago state and federal, that's 2. If you add them together, that's 3. New York federal, that's 4. I thought I saw an Earn in the chat. And what up, little bro? I was just asking about you. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Let's go here. Child support. And I know y'all keep saying, why you keep talking about child support? Because they took child support from this manual. Watch this. Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Now watch this. You love your baby mama so much. You love your kids' mom so much. Y'all go to child support office. They break it down. This is how much you'll pay every month. Everything will be fine. We'll give you daycare vouchers, but you just make sure you pay us and everything will be good. You sign, wait. If you reclaimed your birthright, you autograph your name. Other folks sign their name. So you put your Hancock on that piece of paper which turns into a mechanical instrument that can be used. They monetize it through the Federal Reserve System. They get their funds off of that every month. Guess what? Guess what? You go out, you work your heart out, you lose your job, you and that girl break up, you hate her ass now. Guess what happens? They start taking funds out of your check. Ain't that your property? Didn't you work for it? They take your commercial driver's license. Ain't that your liberty? That's something that is not willing to do, but you choose to go get a driver's license. So that's your liberty. They lock you up and charge you with contempt. And the first thing they say is, we locking you up for contempt of child support. Matter of fact, you will never hear the judge or the lawyer say they locking you up for contempt of child support. You will never hear that. And you will always hear the child support agency say, let's lock them up for contempt of court for child support. Time out. Because you ain't listening to what they saying. That is illegal, right, Joseph? Because you ain't listening to what they saying. Watch this. You're never being locked up for child support. But you're now being deprived of the way you live your life because of a contract that you signed. So you're being deprived and you're being locked up for breach of contract, not for child support. You cannot go to jail for a civil suit. Which brings me back to the guy that Angie hates. And if Angie Walker listening, Angie gonna be like, that goddamn Dana. But the guy that just killed 5 people or 6 people, right? He's not in jail for him killing those people. The government don't give a damn about you as a person. They damn sure don't give a damn about you as a man. But they give a damn about you because they have equity and stock in you because they're the now shareholder of your life. Why is that? Because your mama signed you over to them. So now he's in jail for the rest of his life because the government deemed him unable to live amongst the other people. They deemed him a person that can't live among other people. Well, Dana, can you prove that? Watch this. Watch this. Come on. Watch this. Watch this. Here we go. Watch this. Pay attention. All right? Pay attention. Let me do it for you. I'll put it back. If you're a man, your name should be spelled in proper form. You were created by the divine, which means you are created by Jesus Christ or whoever you believe in. You believe in Allah, that's who created you. You are living and breathing being. That's what a man is. You're under the divine, you're under the divine law, which is the Constitution, aka the law of the land. You're under divine jurisdiction, right? You live freely, but you also live privately. You're nonfiction, and you guided by whatever spirit you believe in. If you're a Christian, I think you believe in the Holy Spirit and stuff like that, and Allah. I don't know who theirs is, but y'all get the drift. If you're a person, all caps name, that's who you are. You're corporate fiction. You was created by the state, i.e. birth certificate, social security card. You are really a dead entity in the system. If you think I'm lying, I dare you call down to the Social Security Administration and ask them, can they look in the system and see is your name dead or alive? I only know one person that did it, and it shocked the hell out of them, and that's Vi. Vi was like, yo, what the hell? You live under codes and acts, pretty much. Whatever the government passed, whatever law or whatever, well, no, not law, but whatever code or whatever they pass, that's what you live under. You're under government jurisdiction. That's how they can claim you. You're a 14th Amendment slave. That's why you can't buck at them when they come and take your kid. You live publicly. You're a fiction person, and you possessed by an entity. If you pay attention to the jurisdictions, I live in common law jurisdiction. Here's common law jurisdiction. Oh, shoot. Okay, cool. I like that. Here's common law jurisdiction. That's where I live. I'm the juror, the law of the land. Natural law, I can't, technically, I can do a jury trial, but I'm not supposed to. Why? Because I'm supposed to do a trial by jury. It's a difference. A jury trial, you can pick anybody that's competent, who they deem competent. You have to pick a trial by jury. You have to pick 12 people that's in my age range. And it can't be off by 2 going up. It can't be off by 4 going under. It have to be in my age range. We'll come back to that, because I know folks was looking forward to understanding dual sovereignty. We'll come back to that tomorrow. So we're going to finish up dual sovereignty. Throughout most of its history, the double jeopardy clause was only binding on the federal government and Palco versus Connecticut. The Supreme Court rejected an argument that the 14th Amendment incorporated all provisions of the first 8 amendments as limitations on the states. The court, however, enunciated a due process theory under which some Bill of Rights guarantees are considered so fundamental that they are of the very essence of the scheme of ordered liberty. And neither liberty nor justice would exist if they were sacrificed. The double jeopardy clause, like many other procedural rights of defendants, was not considered fundamental in Palco. It could be absent and fair trials could still be had. Still, a defendant's due process rights, absent double jeopardy, might be violated in the court's view if the state created a hardship so acute and and shocking as to be unendurable. Stop. What did Kim Fox do? What did the state of Illinois do to R. Kelly? When they teamed up with Lifetime and everything, they created a hardship for the people so acute and shocking as to be unendurable. What did they say? He's a monster. He's a monster. Monsters don't belong on the street, do they? I'm just saying. But that was not the situation in Palco. In Benton versus Maryland, however, the Supreme Court concluded that the double jeopardy prohibition of the Fifth Amendment represents a fundamental idea in our constitutional heritage. And the court noted, once it is decided that a particular Bill of Rights guarantee is fundamental to the American scheme of justice. Why do they keep calling it a scheme? The same constitutional standards apply against both the state and federal governments. Accordingly, after Benton, the double jeopardy limitation applies to both federal and state governments. State rules on double jeopardy with regard to matters such as when jeopardy attaches must be considered in light of federal standards. In a federal system, different governmental bodies may have different interests to serve when defining crimes and enforcing their laws. Stop. They giving it to you right there. What different interests did the government have on R. Kelly? We seen it in 2 jurisdictions. Then we seen it in 2 more jurisdictions. Where different bodies have overlapping jurisdiction, what I tell you, a person may engage in conduct that will violate the laws of more than one body. Although the court had long accepted in dictum the principle that prosecution by 2 governments of the same defendant for the same conduct would not constitute double jeopardy. It was not until United States versus Lanza that the conviction in federal court of a person previously convicted in a state court for performing the same acts was sustained. Watch this. You see what they're saying? In United States versus Lanza, he got convicted in federal court and in state court for the same acts. The Lanza court stated, we have here 2 sovereignties deriving power from different sources. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? I'm glad you said that, Queen B. That's why they used the RICO Act. Because they want to enact a different source. Kim Fox wouldn't be able to come with charges. Why? Because of the same source of 2008. Now that I'm reading this way, for dual sovereignty citizenship or dual sovereignty, what they're saying is the federal and the state, they both have their own sovereignty statuses. So if Rob was found innocent in the state, the government had to be enacted by the state, because it says it right here, deriving power from different sources, capable of dealing with the same subject matter within the same territory. Okay, what power came from different sources? Let's look at it. Lifetime, Surviving R. Kelly, right? Mute R. Kelly, Time's Up, Color of Change, Kim Fox coming forward, You got 6 different sources right there. And when you have more than one source, that activates the federal government. Not to mention that Kim Foxx already had them activated in her meetings. So it says deriving power from different sources, capable of dealing with the same subject matter within the same territory. Each government in determining what shall be an offense against its peace and dignity is exercising its own sovereignty. Stop. So you mean to tell me the feds looked at what they presented and said that disrupts the peace of the people and the dignity of the people. So the state of Illinois don't have the power to come at him, but the federal government have the power to buy everybody to go at him. You see what I'm saying now? The state don't have the resources to go at R. Kelly. But the government, the federal government, have the resources and the power to pay people to go at the man they call R. Kelly. Make it make sense. But it have to be in the same subject matter and the same territory. So guess what? 2008, it was R. Kelly. 2019, R. Kelly. Same territory, Chicago. How was they able to take them to New York then? Because you had different territories already in play. You had different sources in play. Guess what? How many sources did Don Russell enact in New York? I'm just saying, but I hope y'all get it. Each government in determining what shall be an offense against its peace and dignity is exercising its own sovereignty, not that of the other. The court's reasoning came to be known as the dual sovereignty doctrine. So when you have more than one entity going at one territory or when you have more than one entity going at the same subject matter and the same territory, that's when you have the split sovereignties. So, and me reading that much, because I'm going to save the rest of it for tomorrow, and me reading that much, how can you be a sovereign citizen? Make it make sense. That's why they call sovereign citizens terrorists, because their whole goal is to not follow any law. Natural man follows the Constitution, which is the law of the land, the main law. I'm just saying. I'm going to get the rest of it tomorrow. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 paragraphs left, starting with although the Supreme Court has been asked to overrule the dual sovereignty doctrine in a number of cases, it has repeatedly declined to do so. I wonder why. In 2019, in Gamble versus United States, the court clarified that where there are 2 sovereigns, there are 2 laws and 2 offenses. Jesus Christ. I'm going to read that again for the slow people. In 2019, in Gamble versus United States, the court clarified that where there are 2 sovereigns, there are 2 laws and 2 offenses. The court asserted that this dual sovereignty doctrine was justified by historical understandings of the double jeopardy clause, observing that the clause prohibits dual prosecution. Observing that the clause prohibits dual prosecution for the same offense. The court explained that at the time the Constitution was written, an offense was defined as a violation of a particular law. And the court's view, two sovereigns will have two different laws, meaning that violations of those laws will be two different offenses. And Gamble, the court emphasized that by 2019. The doctrine had been applied in a chain of precedent linking dozens of cases over 170 years. Look, I'll be back to finish this out tomorrow. It's midnight. Y'all go get some rest and bring your books, pens, and pads to class tomorrow, because we're going to get back into this at 6:30 p.m. All right? Love every last one of y'all. Dream team for life. I'm up out of here. Peace.
Swimming in you. Hey, little mama said I wanna take a dip in your pool. Just go for a look out there. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's DJ ZELLE.
5 in the morning, I wake up to 5 for my yard. Yeah, in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day, tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. Tried to get by, but I'm burning. Let me guide my mind.